Good morning, everyone. Maayong buntag sa tanan. Happy Kadayawan, and we're happy to be with our guests again in the media for another Wednesday's media forum. And we're so happy to see a lot of friends from the media and, of course, our VIPs from the Ayala Group. And we are starting to feel the drumbeats of the highlights of Kadayawan. So we welcome everyone. We are enjoying the weather here in Mindanao, especially here in Davao. So I'd like to say hello and introduce our guests, but also my friend here beside me, Iris. Iris, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Miss Sam.
Nice to see you after how many weeks?
Yes, nice to have you back. I mean, nice to be joined by you again. And I mean, we are together again after how many weeks of not being together?
Yes, and so we'd like to proceed with introducing our guests. We'd like to introduce Mr. Tony Lambino of the Ayala Foundation. He's the president. Mr. James Lopez, chairman of the board. We are Ayala Business Club of Davao. And the very tall and handsome guy in the middle, Mr. Paolo Borromeo, Managing Director and Chief Social Infrastructure Officer of the Ayala Corporation. And they'll be talking about Ayala Corporation's community partnerships and social infrastructure initiatives in Mindanao. Here's Iris to introduce our media friends.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Karayawan Week. I would like to introduce our media friends present here today. We are joined by Ms. Brenda Manalo and Mr. Vic Tahod of Sunshine Media Network Incorporated. We have Sir Dennis Lasso of DXUM. We have Ms. Flor Lazo of Cataladi. We have Ms. Sheila Salosha of Radyo Pilipinas. We have Sir David Ezra Francis Quere of Sunstar Davao. We have Gia Tanod of Mindanao Times. We have Ms. Edith Isidro of DWAR. And we have Mr. Rudolph Alama of the Philippine Information Agency, Region 11. We will be joined later on by other media, and some of them are also monitoring online via our Minda Facebook page. Our facilitator is Ms. Marilyn Roque, and we would also like to thank our partners, Ayala Malls, Abreeza, and Habi at Kape. Thank you.
Thank you, Iris. And first of all, before everything, before the questions and the answers, here's ASEC, Yo Montenegro.
Daghang salamat, may buntag kanatong tanan. Good morning, everyone. Of course, to our guests from Ayala Group and Ayala Foundation. This is, well, you may be asking why I'm here. I'm not part of the panel. I'm not part of the panel for now. I know you have a lot of questions about the yellow and red alert we are going through. The Minbiscon conference happening now in Cagayan, or the ICT conference happening in Tagum, but let's reserve another occasion for that, because for now our focus is with the Ayala Group. And the reason why I'm here also is to bring forward the context. This is drawn from our 10 years of partnership, starting off with this 10-year. This year we'll be having our 10 years anniversary for this Habi at Kape. This is a demonstration of that partnership between Minda and, of course, Ayala Malls, by creating a space for us, and of course with Habi at Kape also, in allowing us to have this weekly forum, an opportunity for Mindanao stories to be told, for that very important conversation to take shape, and so that we are able to be part of putting up the picture of right context in Mindanao. Now, this collaboration where we are now having with the Ayala Group actually reflects a common belief and a shared belief that Mindanao's development is strongest when private sector, government, and communities work together. And so through this collaboration, Minda hopes to be able to connect with Ayala Group's and Ayala Foundation's social infrastructure initiatives, particularly in health, education, sustainability, livelihood, and of course with Mindanao's regional priorities and the actual needs and opportunities of many communities across 6 regions in Mindanao, including the Bangsamoro region, where Ayala is also very much present with many of their activities. And of course, we want to highlight that this collaboration between Ayala Group and Minda across many fronts of development work, not just supporting and laying the ground for areas to be viable for investment, where Ayala can, as a corporate entity, can expand their footprints in Mindanao, particularly in the energy sector, agriculture value chain, and not just services such as malls as well as property development, because there is so much in terms of opportunities for growth and investments we have in Mindanao. And that is where we want to bring about that possible partnership and collaboration, just like how Minda is doing it with all other corporate entities and all other private sector players, both foreign and domestic. Because at the end of the day, the role of Minda is to lay the ground and make Mindanao a viable destination for investment, so that investments can come in terms of manufacturing, industries, energy, property, and all of this translate to creation of jobs that will provide income, steady income for the people, for the communities, so that they can look forward for a better future. That is the all and be all of the work of Minda in having to piece this together and coordinate all of these efforts, both government and private sector in Mindanao. So, in short, the objective of this partnership between Minda and Ayala Group is certainly to create and forge a strong partnership that will translate to meaningful impact, especially to far-flung, geographically isolated or marginalized areas in Mindanao, especially in the Bangsamoro region. And so partnership that will bring about change in these communities and transformation. Partnership that will lead us to building a better Mindanao. And so on behalf of the Mindanao Development Authority, we look forward to greater, bolder, and better partnership with Ayala Group. Daghang salamat. O welcome to Davao. Welcome to Habi at Kape.
Thank you, Sekyo, the very active action man of Minda, and very busy also with activities in Mindanao. We know our guests are also in a hurry to catch a plane, and our media guests are also eager to ask questions. So I think we would like to ask for a brief opening statement from the first one. Yes?
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Paolo Borromeo.
Thank you, Marilyn. Maayong buntag and welcome to everyone.
Ay buntag.
Maayong buntag. First, let me thank Minda for inviting us this morning. To Asekyo Montenegro, a big thank you to hosting us and allowing us to share our platform with our friends from the Davao media. For us, we value opportunities like this, no, so we can share our initiatives, our programs, and what's important to us. And we're very delighted to be here in Davao to share this occasion with you. I'm also very pleased that Minda has been holding this regular media engagement for a decade. It's been a decade that you guys have been holding this here at an Ayala facility, and it's very reassuring to know that many important conversations on advancing Mindanao's development have begun in this space, and we're grateful for the opportunity to be part of that. I want to acknowledge, of course, all of our media friends who are here today. You play an important role in helping the public understand what's going on, so thank you for all that you do and helping frame the issues that shape Mindanao's future. I'm joined today by my colleagues from the different Ayala businesses. We're represented here today by Ayala Land, which includes, of course, Abreeza Mall and SEDA and Makati Development Corporation. We're represented by our friends from Globe, our friends, and the Ayala Business, the We Are Ayala Business Club also includes, of course, our friends from BPI, from AC Mobility, and of course, the Ayala Foundation, AC Health, iPeople, and all of our group companies. So thank you. Thank you to our colleagues for being here today. They're our moral support. But they're here today because Mindanao holds a special place for Ayala. No, and you will obviously see that our businesses are very present across Mindanao, whether it's our malls, our hotels, our telecom facilities, or our bank branches. But more and more, we're also investing more deeply in health and education and other initiatives and programs that can help Mindanao, especially in the form of human capital. We've also been supporting Mindanao through our foundation, and I'll let Mr. Lambino explain more of that. But I did want to highlight that in our group, we are paying extra attention on what we call social infrastructure, Marilyn. And that's why today I represent our Ayala Social Infrastructure Group, which includes our healthcare arm, our education group, our Ayala Foundation. And our desire, our ambition is to be able to help different communities and localities, including Mindanao, to improve human capital. No, sa Pilipinas po, we talk a lot about demographic dividend, di ba? Na napakabata natin, 26 years old, 27 years old. But we're big believers that we need to protect that demographic dividend. Kailangan paaralin ng mga bata, kailangan malulusog tayong lahat. No? And so we're investing very heavily in what we call social infrastructure platforms, because we believe that's how people will thrive. Hence, we launched Alagang Ayala, and that's why we're here today. Alagang Ayala is the group's collaboration platform for all of our social initiatives and programs. It brings together our work in healthcare, in education, in community development, and in environmental sustainability under one clear and accessible banner. It's not a standalone campaign. It's a way of making our work easier to understand, so local communities and partners can see the bigger picture of what we do, and we can support where help is really needed. That clarity matters, especially in a place as dynamic and diverse as Mindanao. Regional progress is strongest when there's appropriate health services, when there's quality education, and of course, livelihood support and resilience efforts which support communities. No? And again, that's why Davao is such an important place for us to listen, to learn, and to deepen partnerships. We see this forum as part of a broader effort to align our work more closely with the development priorities on the ground. So we value Minda's leadership. Again, maraming salamat po, ASECYO, and to the Mindanao Development Authority in bringing people together around these priorities, and count on our support. Count on our support, our continued support to progress Mindanao and to have a more vibrant future for the region. Daghang salamat, and may we continue working together for a more strong and hopeful Mindanao. Thank you.
you very much, Mr. Paolo Borromeo. And now we'd like to hear from Mr. Tony Lambino.
Thank you, Marilyn. Mayong buntag sa atong tanan. It's good to be back in Mindanao. I'm a Mindanaoan, nataw ko sa Cagayan de Oro. Ang akong mama, Cagayanon Jude.
Yes.
Pero gid ako nako sa Manila, no, but it's always good to be back here. I feel like my umbilical cord is reattaching, no, to the earth. But in terms of the Ayala Foundation's work in Mindanao, we are working with a lot of partners. Whenever there is an emergency or a disaster, that is the first thing we do with WABC. We activate our partnerships to respond to those who are most in need. No? For example, with WABC, the Ayala Group's relief efforts in South Cotabato and Sarangani happened recently, benefiting around 11,000 individuals in communities affected by the earthquake. In addition, 1,000 insulator boards are on their way to the Sarangani area in partnership with FINMA to help in the rehabilitation efforts of the area. So that's the first thing. Whenever there's an emergency or a disaster, WABC is always on the ground with us the foundation team coordinates also with the local government and other groups, no, that would like to help. And these are times when needs are very severe, no? And so we would like to be able to contribute continuously to those efforts. That's one of our pillars, no? The work that we do in volunteerism and disaster and emergency response. But the foundation has also been active in arts and culture for many decades now. In fact, if you haven't visited the Ayala Museum in Manila, please come, because we feature a lot of artisanship from Mindanao. No, in fact, some of the most important exhibitions feature artisanship and material culture from Mindanao. And so if you are interested in coming, we would be happy to organize a tour that is specially curated for you. Just please let us know. But also, more recently, here for the Kadayawan Festival, we worked with storytellers, no, from Davao and the Mindanao area. We worked with regional journalists, communications professionals, local historians, even campus editors, no, students who are aspiring journalists, and other cultural storytellers from the 7 tribes, no, of the area. And we hosted an event called Istoryahay, hosted by Holy Cross. No, so doon po namin ginawa sa Holy Cross. And it was about how AI is transforming how we tell stories about culture. And we wanted it to be a contribution to Kadayawan so that the cultural storytellers are able to use modern tools and not be intimidated by them, but in fact to harness the power responsibly, no, of AI and other technologies. And so it was a very meaningful day that we spent just a few days ago in Holy Cross. And we were able, I think, to generate a number of stories already that have been published since then. Also, just the other day, we had a press conference in SEDA. Thank you, SEDA, for hosting it, for the Designer Holiday Bazaar, DHB. Now, this has always been held in Manila, except now we think it makes so much sense to do it in Davao. So this is where the first Designer Holiday Bazaar will happen this year, September 3 to 6, here in Abreeza Mall. And what really happens is, si Bea Jr. and Sofia, so Bea Jr., Zobel Urquijo, and Sofia Zobel Elizalde, they curate products that are made by local artisans, not the best of the Philippines. And they shared during the press con that there are world-class designers in Davao. And so they will be featuring products that are made here. And hopefully they gain the attention of the design community, and maybe we can even bring those products to other places. Manila or even internationally. So it's a potential springboard, a platform for our local designers to gain new clients, and new audiences. And I'm very happy to announce that the DHB team, the Designers Holiday Bazaar team, has also made a program that we will be launching here in Davao, the beneficiary of the bazaar. So the money that the organizers will make will go to an education program for public elementary schools here in Davao. It is the Centex digital education program of Ayala Foundation that we have tested in other places. And this program, hopefully the results are replicated here as well. They have helped students double their math scores in just 12 weeks. But this program we will run for much longer than 12 weeks. We will run for 2 years. And this program will be launched with the City Council's permission. and the mayor's endorsement, no, Mayor Baste, in at least 10 elementary schools as a pilot this year, expanding to at least double that by next year, to 20 schools. But what we really want to do is test the approach and the tools of Centex Digital, which really help teachers teach better by using technology. So what they do is they're able to help students who are falling behind catch up, students who are on track stay on track, and students who are doing very well become even more successful in their educational careers. No, that is that is a sister program. If we're able to launch it here in Davao, again, no, we are asking for the City Council's permission to do this, and Councilor Petit will be presenting this to the City Council soon. But we are also doing a Centex program in Lamitan, Basilan, no, in other parts of Mindanao, because we want to help the youngest learners, pre-K and K students, become grade 1 ready. And we are working with more than 500 school children in Lamitan and more than 66 teachers, no, in public child development centers and public elementary schools dito po sa Lamitan. Those are some of the programs that we are running here in Mindanao, and we would like to be very supportive of the development story of the region. It has still the most potential, no, for making major contributions to not just the development of families, households, and communities here, but also to our national story. So maraming salamat po.
And of course, we'd like to hear from Mr. James Lopez. He's a Davaoenyo, I hear.
Maayong buntag sa tanan. Yes, madam. From Davao, born and raised here in Davao, so I'm very proud to be a Davaoenyo also. And happy Kadayawan to everyone. I'd like to greet also our media friends and to ASEC, no, for coming over, and also from our partners, aming mga kasama from WABC. So parang ano sila, naging moral support ang aming grupo. Thank you guys. No? So to give an idea of what WABC is all about, a brief background, it all started here in Davao around 10 years ago. We used to call it Ayala Business Club of Davao, just ABCD. And then years later, it was rebranded into a We Are Ayala Business Club of Davao. So there's basically an ownership. We being proud of being part of the Ayala group. Ano? So coming back to what I said, that We Are Ayala Business Club has been here in Davao for at least 10 years. So we've been doing a lot of social civic activities, like every year, walang mintis, we do the Brigadang Eskwela. We have a partnership, strong partnership with the Ayala Foundation. So every year we go to different schools, and we basically target schools that are a little bit challenged. So we're talking about places like Atanoe, schools outside farther than Mandog. So we're basically there. We have partners from MDC also, who's very helpful. Normal Brigada Eskwela, it's just basic, repainting. Since we have a construction arm, no, talagang before the official date, ang partners namin from MDC are already there doing the repairs ng mga roof, ng mga ceilings, ng mga walls. So parang pagdating ng final day, parang ano na lang siya, clean up na lang talaga. So we've been doing this for at least 10 years. We have a partnership with the Red Cross, and now we have a partnership with the Department of Health. We have we do this at least twice a year. Now we have a blood donation drive here in Abreeza. So it has been going on for the longest time, and we have a lot of yung mga cleanup drives as well here in Davao City. So in relation to what Tony was mentioning earlier, ayaw namin to mangyari, but every time merong mga sakuna, it's always Ayala Foundation and We Are Ayala Business Club of Davao who's always there the following day, literally the following day. Nandyan siya. Good example of what happened in Jansan, and Sok Sargent. Right after the earthquake, automatic may nagpadala na si Ayala Foundation ng tao. A couple of days later, the relief goods are there. The last time, nakatatlong wave na kami. So, we're very proud to support provide support naman, we're very pag may nangangailangan, we are there. We're just not just focused in Davao, but the entire actually the entire Philippines. For WABC, we have a total of around 8 clubs. We have in Cebu, in North Luzon, South Luzon, Bacolod, Iloilo. So anywhere na medyo concentrated ng Ayala Group na sa city, we have a club there, and we just provide services all throughout the country naman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. James Lopez. And before we start with the questions, we'd like to have a brief photo session with Yo Montenegro with you, because he has not, I think it's leaving, he's very busy.
You can be our point of contact in terms of working with the LGU or the area, of course, all other agencies, kasi whole of government approach in your guidance.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. So glad we're
Thank you, Asek Yo.
Engagement sa Manila. At lalo na ito.
Thank you.
So we move on with the first one to ask a question. We'd like to call on Vic Tahud of SMNI. Please make your questions brief. And of course, we'd like to give a chance to others.
And good morning to Minda, one of the leading agencies for development through communication and action. So to all the media colleagues, and also to all our advocates of Mindanao development. So I am Vic Tahod from SMNI, an advocate also for Mindanao development. So my question po, sir, since given the situation in the Philippines right now, with the shooting, violence in school, we do believe with your bright minds of Ayala Corporation and Ayala Foundation that you can also make solutions for these situations in the country, especially the corruption in our government, in flood control projects, and also this violence. So as private capacity, we do believe in your power and in your capacity to give solutions for this. So what can you advise, and what is your flagship program for this year 2026? Sir.
Thank you for the question. We're obviously big believers in good corporate governance. No? So in our field, in business, it's very important that we conduct our business in the right way. I think Ayala for 190 years has always set the standard in terms of good governance po. So makakaasa po kayo na in anything that we do, that we represent that kind of governance, and hopefully po mag-reflect din yon sa mga komunidad tsaka sa mga localities kung nasaan po kami. And of course, we continue to work hand in hand with the local government. Pero ang focus po namin, syempre in our communities where we have our developments, for instance with Ayala Land, syempre po we work hand in hand with the local governments in ensuring that there is peace and safety, among other things. But it also includes, of course, the neighborhood's resilience, hindi ba? Environmental compliance, kung sari-sari pa. But we work hand in hand with the local government. On that note, gusto ko lang pong i-stress yung partnership po namin sa larangan ng healthcare tsaka education. No, those are to us very important and very strong opportunities to partner with the local government. Here in Mindanao, we have nearly, I think, 100 generica drugstores. We have a few healthway clinics. We have one here in Davao, and we hope to invest more because it's very important to us that our communities are supported by affordable, accessible medicine and healthcare services. No, so makakaasa po kayo that we will expand our healthcare facilities and services here in Mindanao, and also hopefully in partnership with the local governments. Because in other parts of the country, we have public-private partnerships in healthcare that we hope to replicate in Mindanao. Now, in education, of course, we have a presence here through Mapua, but as Mr. Lambino said earlier, we're also launching Centex, which hopefully will support the development, the learning development of young students in the first 10 schools and hopefully more than 20 schools by the next year. No? So yun po, again, in close coordination and partnership with the local government. But you know, I think if there's anything that we do with Ayala, going back to governance, kami po is we work hand in hand with our government, with our, both the national and the local. Ako po, hindi ko nasabi kanina, I chair the Private Sector Advisory Council for Healthcare for this administration. Bago po noon, I was the private sector lead for T3 during the pandemic under PRRD. So sa amin po, napakalinaw that we have to work very closely with the national government, no, kunyari sa larangan ng healthcare, the Department of Health, and but also at the local level. No, because we all know that healthcare and education are implemented at the local level. You know? So, and I think that's something that you can expect more from us, no? A continued partnership with the LGU.
Last question na lang po. So, given your project right now, no, and program for social infrastructure, so Minda is also partnering with private companies po when it comes to public-private partnership of infrastructure. So, what is your project right now po here in Mindanao po?
Well, on the part of the foundation, we are hoping to launch within the year our Centex digital program, which is the official Philippine rollout of a global movement in education called High Touch, High Tech. High touch means that teachers are able to teach at the right level depending on where a student is at. So, na-differentiate niya yung kanyang teaching. And that the students are able to benefit from that because they understand more, no, the content that they are being assigned. That said, we also need a very good platform, and we found one in Khan Academy Philippines, which is part of Khan Global, no, Khan Academy Global, but is already tailored and adapted to the Philippine curriculum. So wala pong what do you call this? A difference between what's in Khan Academy Philippines and what our DepEd teachers are already teaching in their lesson plans. And what happens is the teacher is able then to use the Khan Academy Philippines as a dashboard, giving assignments to students depending on what their capacity is at the moment. And then the teacher has a sense of who's behind, who's ahead, and who's on track, and can tailor their lesson plan to teach to those groups. And what we found in Zambales, where we tested this in 18 public elementary schools, DepEd schools, the students were able to double their math scores on average, no, in a very short amount of time. And given that the country is in a learning crisis, now, if you look at the numbers coming out of EDCOM 2 and other research efforts, around 9 out of 10 Filipino middle school students are not able to read a simple text. 90% of Filipino students are not able to graduate high school hitting the competencies required of a high school graduate. No? So we really need to do something urgently, and which is why we would be grateful to be able to roll out Centex Digital to test if it will replicate the results I talked about in the largest city in the Philippines. Because what we were able to gain in partnership with Davao is that there's so much variation in the elementary schools in Davao. Some are in the city center, some are in far-flung areas. And if you can tailor the program so that it works in these different contexts, then you have a playbook for the whole country. Diba? So Davao can be part of that evidence base that we can use to make the case for a program that will benefit students all over the country. Thank you.
Okay, I think we also would like to mention we had mayor who was a UP Diliman law graduate, Elias Lopez, who was an outstanding mayor here in Davao City and started a lot of activities. So he was a Klata Magobo, and we don't consider them minority anymore because we used to refer to them as minority. So we're all the same, we're all equal. And we'd like to call on the next question, Dennis.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning to our guests. My question is, I hope you'll not find this word, but what is the music that you are using now with the political challenges that we have now? Anong musika ang ginagamit niyo yun na kailangan sasayaw tayo because of the political challenges that we have now, guess, in terms of the partnership that you have initiated these days, particularly siguro dito sa Mindanao. Ano ba kasi medyo, alam mo na,
Alam mo, sa larangan ng musika po, wala na pong mas lalong eksperto kaysa kay
so
Tony
better,
Lambino.
Sir
Kasi-
Tony Lambino will be the one to answer that.
Kasi I'm a big fan of Smoky Mountain po eh.
So
Lumalabas yung
so
edad ni
tanong-
Paolo.
Sir Tony
Marites.
Lambino, yung tanong ko parang tama din na anong klaseng musika ginagamit nyo ngayon because of the political challenges that we have now? I mean, to be frank about it.
Okay, okay. Let him answer that.
Well, only original Filipino music, sir.
Okay.
OPM all the way. No, but you know, when Ryan Kebiab gave a talk at the Ayala Museum as National Artist for Music, he was asked, where are we in to follow your analogy, sir? No,
Yeah.
where are we in terms of the music of today? Ang sabi niya, actually, the music of today in terms of pop, the pop genre, is actually quite international. When you listen to it, it sounds resonant across borders. But he said what matters is that we tell our stories as Filipinos in our local languages. I mean, that's the next frontier. And that's what I'd like to use as an analogy also, that our development programs, whatever we find works in terms of improving the education, the healthcare status, and the livelihood opportunities of our fellow Filipinos, that we localize that in different areas in ways that are meaningful to the communities from those areas. So what really matters are the outcomes, regardless of the politics and regardless of the noise. What is benefiting the individual and the family, the Filipino family. So that's what we endeavor to do, no, to tailor and to localize our programs so that they are meaningful in the local context.
So in short, Sir Tony, hindi yung cha-cha na parang atrasabante.
Hindi po.
It could not be baile, kay baka delikado rin kung sobrang yakap, parang ganon ang analogy ko. Yes, Sir Paolo.
No, actually, ulitin ko lang yung sinabi ni Mr. Lambino. Alam mo lahat po ng ginagawa namin, Dennis, no? Sa larangan ng healthcare, sa larangan ng edukasyon, sa larangan ng livelihood programs, walang politika, walang bahid ng politika.
Yeah.
You know,
That's good.
all of us need help in all of our different communities, no, sa larangan ng healthcare tsaka edukasyon. So that's why po kami, ito talagang tinutulak namin, no? And we work with different communities, with different local governments, with different national governments, pero po para sa Pilipino, no? Yan po ang pinaka-importante.
Sir Paolo, hindi na ako magtatanong kay Sir James Lopez. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Maraming salamat, Dennis. And we call on Sheila from Radio Pilipinas.
Good morning po. Sir, under Alagang Ayala po, what specific gaps in Mindanao are we addressing? Especially, as Sir Tony mentioned kanina, yung sa mababang reading ng mga kabataan.
Yes, that's national. So everyone is affected by that, but including, unfortunately, many parts of Mindanao.
In Mindanao po, sir, sa health and education sector, ano po nag-gap ang tinututukan natin? Thank you.
In healthcare po, we noticed there are certain areas in Mindanao, of course, that are doing better than others, pero marami po na talaga nagkukulang, no? I think in Davao City, maganda ang serbisyo natin dito, pero marami po tayong mga komunidad na nangangailangan ng tulong. Someone asked earlier what kind of partnerships we have on the healthcare side. Unang-una po, tumutulong po kami sa ang pinakamadali po mga medical mission, no, at saka mga libreng gamot. So we did that earlier this year. Pangalawa po, meron po kaming mga pinag-uusapan with different local governments for public-private partnerships on our Yakap Gamot program, no, para dispensa po kami ng mga gamot na libre galing sa PhilHealth, no? And alam po niyo yun, and in fact I wanted to ask media to help spread the word that every Filipino has access to 20,000 pesos worth of medicine through the gamot program. Hindi po alam ng lahat ng Pilipino yun, so please help spread the word. But we are in discussions for partnerships with our generica drugstores as the dispensing facility for Yakap and Gamot medicine. And we're also in various discussions on other partnerships, for instance, in the field of nephrology, sa mga dialysis po. Kasi meron din po mga barangay, komunidad na kulang po ang mga serbisyo for nephrology. But in health, we continue to look for opportunities to expand our clinic network and our pharmacy network in Mindanao, starting in Davao and Cagayan de Oro, but also more broadly.
Yeah, just to add also, as far as Globe is concerned, we've been very active in promoting our digital thumbprint program. This way, we go to different schools, and I think, in fact, we've already reached about almost 1 million students. So we go to different schools. We teach the students, even the teachers, on how to use the internet properly. No? So, we teach the children how to discern what is fake news, what is not. Before posting anything, you need to confirm if it's really good, if it's really from a reliable source. Just to stop making any dramas online. Parang minsan, we've also been supporting about mga online bullying. So we have a specific program for kids as well, to teach them not to do, what to do when you feel like you've been bullied online. So we've been very active also in teaching not just the students. We've also been reaching out to senior citizens as well. That sector is very vulnerable pagdating sa technology. Laging tinatawag, anak, paano ba to pinipress? Paano ba to? The next thing you know, nasa scam na, di ba? So we have a specific program for that. We call it a senior Digicen. So we teach the seniors, we coordinate with the LGUs, the local barangays, to call on the senior citizens, call them into one place. We teach them how to do things online, even using the basic phone. Paano mag-turn on, paano mag-send ng message. We do that to that point. So because we believe naman technology is inevitable, so we might as well teach the children, even the seniors as well, and how to do it properly to make it safer for them.
Thank you. We
And-
beg your...
And
Yes.
that leads to my next question po. For the perspective po ng private sector, how do you see AI being used in your business, and what impact do you think it will have on your operation and also the workforce?
I'll let you guys answer it too. But artificial intelligence is a big program for us, a big initiative across the Ayala Group. Whether it's Globe or BPI or Ayala Land, meron po kami mga centers of excellence dyan. Kami po naniniwala na andito na AI is here, and it will impact us in the way we do our work. It hopefully, kunyari even kayo in media, it will help improve the way you do your work. But more importantly, it will affect the economy. No? So we need to be prepared for that and make sure that our workers are upskilled. No? Kasi kung hindi tayo nag-advance, lalo na yung mga bata, estudyante, kahit tayo mga nasa workforce, kailangan natin po mag-adapt. Kung hindi po may iwanan po tayong lahat. So I think that's a big effort on our part internally in our group to upskill our own employees and our own talent and workforce. Pero more broadly, kami po, we are championing what's called the National AI Task Force, no? So that we can upskill not just Ayala Group employees, but tayo pong lahat. No? Kasi kailangan po, andito na po yan.
Just very quickly, there are a lot of applications of AI in education, but we have to be very careful which ones we use. No? So we have to make sure that students are safe and that they are able to stay within an educational context when they use it in school. Now, our partner, I just wanted to share very quickly, Khan Academy Philippines, was able to roll out their AI tutor called CanMigo in different parts of the country. And one particular test that they did in Quezon City in partnership with the National Teachers College, which is part of iPeople, in the partnership between Ayala and Yuchenko. They were able to get students who had scores very close to 0 up to 80. No, up to 80 and 90 just within one remediation period during the summer. So it was with NTC students who were volunteers and the worst performing students who were able to prove that they just needed the right opportunity to flourish and to learn. Here in Davao, we have Mapua Malayan College. Mapua is a partner of Arizona State University, which is one of the most progressive universities in the world. No? And they have AI training for teachers, for students, and for professionals. So if there's interest in accessing this training, please come see us or go to Mapua Malayan, because they do specialize in those training programs under a micro-credentialing system. So you can actually get micro-credentialed in these things to be ready for the jobs of today and the jobs of the future. Yeah,
Thank you
thanks.
po. Thank you, Ms. Anne.
Continuing lang about AI training, the program I mentioned earlier, the digital thumbprint program, that includes AI, the basic AI training. So that forms part of the 32 modules na meron dyan sa program na yan. So the last part would be the basics of AI. So we teach the students about senior high school, to give them more idea about what AI is, if they really want to use it, and how they can use it properly to progress with their whatever they want in life. Now, if they want whatever course they want to proceed for college, naman. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
For the journalists here, I hope you don't mind that we take a little bit of initiative. Kara, can we please share the presentations of J-Mark and of Anna with everybody here? Because the Istoryahay conference that we did in Holy Cross talked about AI in journalism. How journalists can maximize the use of AI tools and how AI tools can help in cultural storytelling. So we'll share those materials with you through Minda. Salamat po.
Thank you po.
Okay, thank you very much. We're really sorry we have to leave the other questions for ambush because our panelists are leaving for Manila. They had to catch a plane. We hope they come back, of course, the dynamic trio here. And so we'd like to have a photo ops with the media. And with our closing statements muna, magbabay muna kayo. Okay, Mr. Borromeo.
Again, thank you to our friends from media. Thank you to our friends from Minda. We look forward to collaborating more with you locally to bring more investments into Mindanao and also to invest in our human capital here in Mindanao, which is investing in our people, in their healthcare, in their education, and in their communities and their overall livelihoods. No, so expect more from us, but thank you for the support, and we look forward to partnering with you.
I second the motion, and please continue supporting original Filipino music, especially in our local languages. Salamat po.
Okay, sige, sundan ko na lang din si Tony. OPM na rin tayo lahat.
Daghang
All right.
salamat.
Daghang salamat.
Yes. From Minda, here's Iris.
On behalf of the Mindanao Development Authority, headed by our Chairperson, Secretary Lea Teresa Magno, I would like to thank our guests, Sir Tony, Sir Paolo, Sir James. Thank you for sharing with us, the media and the public, your different CSRs and your different programs and initiatives in Mindanao. We, the Mindanaoans, are thankful for your presence, your help, and your assistance to Mindanao. Thank you, sir. Thank you to our facilitator, Ms. Marilyn Roque. Thank you to our media friends present here today, our media friends monitoring online, our online viewers in our Minda Facebook page. Of course, our partners, Ayala, Malls, Abreeza, and Habi at Kape. Thank you very much, everyone. See you again next episode. But before that, we invite all our media friends to join us for a short photo session with our guests here. Thank you.